Last time, we ended with Goku taking down Kid Buu with a Spirit Bomb, as we now skip 4 years to age 778. Though, something to mention is that I'm following the anime version of Dragon Ball Super, since I like it more than the manga. I'm also combining some aspects of the Battle of Gods movie into it. Since the Ox King was running out of money to support Goku and Chi-Chi, she made Goku get a job as a radish farmer. Though, unbeknownst to them, on a faraway planet alarm bombs go off, as Whis enters to wake up Beerus. After he is up and is having breakfast, Beerus asks about the planet Vegeta was destroyed. Then when he mentions wanting to destroy Frieza, Whis informs him that he was killed. So, Whis goes on to explain that a Saiyan named Gine is the one that killed Frieza. At first the Super Saiyan part sounds familiar, but so I can combine the movie and the anime, he can't place what it is currently. Instead, he ends up going to the planet, and once he tries their food, he destroys half of the planet since their food was too greasy for them. Meanwhile on Earth, Hercule was having a press conference, though Buu interrupted because he was hungry. Because of this, Hercule must explain that Buu is an alien that came to be his disciple. At some point in the past 4 years, Gohan and Videl were married, since Goten was wanting to get Videl a wedding present. Trunks, Cammy, and Kenny help him with this. They still get the spring water and are attacked by a snake, but they take it down easily. Regardless, Hercule shows up and gives Goku the 100 million Zeni for defeating Buu. From there, he goes and gives it to Chi-Chi so that he can now go and train on King Kai's planet. Something to mention here is that Gine would have taught her children how to use instant transmission in the last 4 years, so both Goku and Raditz know it, which is how he can reach King Kai's planet. She would have tried teaching her grandchildren too, but they didn't have the patience for learning it. Then on the sacred world of the Kai, old Kai and Kabuto Kai were paying attention to Beerus as they sense another planet is destroyed. While Goku is training on King Kai's planet, Vegeta and Raditz go on a vacation by taking their children to an amusement park. Though eventually, Vegeta gets annoyed by this and takes off the train, with Raditz going with him. Meanwhile, on a planet called Majina, Whis arrives and tries to get the dinosaur for Beerus to eat. Though it refuses, and once the impatient god of destruction arrives, he fights with the alien chief. Beerus then destroys the planet, which reminds him of his dream about the Super Saiyan god, while the old Kai and Kabuto Kai instantly notice his planet being destroyed. As Beerus and Whis head home, the old Kai and Kabuto Kai discuss that Goku can never meet Beerus as he would try to challenge him. This is when King Kai talks to them telepathically, saying that Goku is training on his planet currently. Then back at Beerus' planet, Beerus asks the Oracle Fish about his dream and the prophecy he was told 39 years ago, since Whis was skeptical about this dream. The fish doesn't recall at first, until eventually when Beerus threatens to only feed him twice a day. The fish remembers the warrior was called the Super Saiyan God. Whis then tells him where the Saiyans are currently, and since Goku/King Kai's planet is closest, they leave to go there. Meanwhile, Krillin, Android 18, Marin, Yamcha, Poir, Tien, Shatsu, Gohan, Videl, Chi-Chi, Gine, and Piccolo arrive at the cruise ship for Bulma's birthday party. Master Roshi, Oolong, Hercule, Buu, along with Raditz, Tights, Cammy, Kenny, Trunks, and Goten are already there. While King Kai tries to get Goku to leave his planet, the half-Saiyan children go to look at the top prize. The Emperor, Pilaf, Mai, and Shu eventually notice the Dragon Balls on the ship and are led on by the children. While Vegeta is training, he's interrupted by Bulma calling him to tell him to get to her party now. Back on King Kai's planet, he accidentally let Beerus' name slip, so he's left with no choice but to explain who Beerus is, though he ends up hiding Goku inside of his house when Beerus and Whis arrive. While King Kai talks to Beerus, the god of destruction eventually calls out to Goku for him to come there, which, when asking about the Super Saiyan god, Goku and King Kai both say they only know about Super Saiyan. Though once he challenges him to a friendly match, he can't hit him at all in Super Saiyan. Even as a Super Saiyan 2, he can't land a hit, and since this is his highest form, Beerus eventually gets bored and knocks Goku down like he did to him when he was in his Super Saiyan 3 form. Beerus then heads to Earth to ask Vegeta about the Super Saiyan God. King Kai then speaks to Vegeta telepathically, warning him that Beerus is on his way there. Which, now that Vegeta knows Beerus is heading there, he brushes off the Bulma's birthday party. However, before he gets a chance to have warned everyone, Beerus and Whis have already arrived. Vegeta says he doesn't know anything about the Super Saiyan God, and when Bulma comes over, she invites Beerus and Whis to join the party. Festivities like Beerus' breakdancing, Piccolo singing karaoke, and Whis eating still happens up to the point that when the kids have a squirt gun fight, they accidentally spray Beerus. However, Vegeta calms him down by catching an octopus and cooking it. Then, while the Peel-Off gang causes their usual shenanigans, Gohan appears as the Great Saiyaman, asking Mai to shoot him. One of the bullets accidentally hits Videl and one hits Beerus, so while Dende heals Videl, Vegeta again tries to calm Beerus by announcing the bingo tournament, then does his song and dance about it. Eventually he gets tired of Octopus, and when Whis mentions pudding, they try to go and get some from Buu and Hercule, though Boo refuses to share and licks them all, thus angering the god of destruction. When Hercule tries to intervene, both Beerus and Boo tell him to shut up and knock him away. Though when Boo tries to fight Beerus, none of his attacks work, so he easily knocks Boo away. Boo, now even more irritated, comes back to try and fight Beerus, but he is left badly beaten up after this. Android 18, Tien, and Piccolo then all try and attack the god of destruction, but they are taken out one by one. Android 18 was taken out with a strike to the neck, Tien is stopped by a pair of chopsticks, and Piccolo is knocked unconscious from these chopsticks. As Beerus retrieves Boo from the water, Gohan tries to attack him, but his head is slammed into Boo's when he's taken down with a kick. Goten and Trunks then fuse to Gotenks while Kami and Kemi fuse to Kimi, but even as Super Saiyans, the young fusions are defeated. Vegeta, getting fed up with this, is the next one that decides to try and attack Beerus, though he is swiftly defeated by the god of destruction, and as he is about to be killed, Bulma walks up and slaps Beerus. Beerus then makes the mistake of slapping Bulma back, which causes Vegeta to explode in rage, though after his rampage ends, he is easily defeated by the angered god. Raditz, seeing no other option, steps up next, but he is swiftly defeated as well. Lastly, Gine steps up to face Beerus, which would at least catch Beerus' attention, since he would remember Whis showing him the warrior that defeated Frieza, which was her. This would also be the time Beerus sees Super Saiyan 3, as Goku doesn't have that form in this timeline. This fight would be very similar to the one between Goku and Beerus, though she would fare a little better since she is slightly stronger than what Canon Goku was at this time. However, she's still eventually defeated in 2 blows and is knocked to the ground. As Beerus gets ready to destroy the Earth, he is bribed by Bulma to not destroy it so he can try more of their food. So, he gives him one more chance and chooses Oolong to face him in a game of rock, paper, scissors, since he thinks he is from the same race as Boo. Regardless, Oolong loses this game after 3 tries, so Beerus gets ready to destroy the planet again. However, when he mentions not having been able to find the Super Saiyan God, this jogs part of Gine's memory. Before this, he only mentioned the Super Saiyan God to Goku and Vegeta, as during his tantrum he was too worried about the pudding to think about asking them about the Super Saiyan God. Gine, however, remembers hearing and reading about the Super Saiyan God in the Namekian Book of Legends, though since that's been so long, the details are a little fuzzy, but she still interrupts Beerus, telling him that she knows someone that would know how to find the Super Saiyan God. This quells Beerus' anger for at least a minute, as he hears her out, so when she explains the Namekian Book of Legends, he allows her to go and teleport there, with Beerus going with her too. Once there, they ask the current Grand Elder, Mori, if they can see the book, so they can read about the Super Saiyan God. This is when they find out about the ritual and that they need 5 pure-hearted Saiyans to put their power into 1 Saiyan. They then head back and tell everyone what they have learned about the ritual, so they decide to do it. Goku would also probably reveal himself here, since them finding out about the Super Saiyan God part would have piqued his interest. Anyway, I tried to make a poll about who should be the Super Saiyan God in this timeline, but it ended in a tie between Gine and Raditz. Since I'm not making 2 Super Saiyan Gods appear right now, as the Oraclefish's prophecy only mentioned 1 rival, I left it up to the discretion of my friend that suggested this what if to choose, which she said to make Gine the one to go through the ritual. This works story-wise as well too though, since she is the strongest Saiyan currently, it would make sense to have chosen her. So, the main difference here is that they never have to summon Shenron, so Emperor Pilaf's suspicions about the Dragon Balls being on the ship aren't proven. When they first tried the ritual, Raditz, Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan try to pour their energy into Gine. Her power raises by quite a bit, and she gains a sparkly aura, which is when Krillin believes she has achieved godhood. However, Piccolo mentions that she didn't, she just gathered more power, and Beerus confirms this, as the god's power isn't shown in their battle power. Whis tells them they misunderstood, that it must be 5 Saiyans putting their power into 1, so a total of 6 Saiyans, which there are more Saiyans than they need for the ritual, so Videl doesn't reveal she is pregnant yet. So, when they try the ritual again, Kami joins in this time, which, as the ritual is completed, Gine achieves the Super Saiyan God form. Also, Emperor Pilaf and them would have noticed the effects the ritual had on the sky and the ocean, so they start to go back to the cruise ship out of curiosity, which, now that Gine is in this form, everyone notices that they can't sense her ki anymore, which is when Whis explains that only gods can. When the fight begins, since she is inexperienced with this form, she can't even land a hit at first. Even when she tries to use the Maiden Blast, it misses and goes through the sea, shaking the ship violently. Though in the meantime, when Emperor Pilaf, Mai, and Shu reach the ship, Whis finds them and invites them to go eat with him. As Gine and Beerus continue to fight, she eventually pushes his energy spear up and away, accidentally knocking Bulma's ship into the water. Though, after they fight a little bit longer, both agree that it was enough of a warm-up and that they'll stop holding back. Beerus eventually makes another Spear of Destruction, but larger this time, so Gine must squeeze and compress it to get rid of it. though, as old Kai and Videl watch the fight, old Kai notices that Beerus is still holding back. Beerus eventually sends Gine crashing down into an island like a meteor, before eventually knocking her up into the stratosphere. Beerus then sends a blast that would have destroyed the Earth, so Gine must resort to using a blast of her own to dissipate them. Beerus then ends up injuring her, and as she falls into the sea, she still gets motivated to fight again, which, as she is healed, she rises to fight Beerus again. She says she is going to use her full power, so Beerus says he'll do the same as well. Meanwhile, as Vegeta observes the fight by staring up into space, Whis offers him to view it through his staff, but the Saiyan Prince refuses. As the two deities continue the fight, their punches are causing shockwaves throughout the universe, which old Kai explains that after 2 or 3 more of these, the universe will be destroyed. These shockwaves also affect Bulma's ship, sending it plummeting down, but Whis stops it from hitting Hercule with his staff. Anyway, back with the fight. As their third clash is about to happen, Gine started counteracting his hits exactly, so that no more shockwaves were created. While their fight continues, with him basically ending in a beam struggle, Hercule tries to bribe Whis to use his magic to stop this. Though, when it does eventually stop, and as Hercule receives a phone call from his manager, he claims to have saved the world once again and to set up a press conference. Back with Beerus and Gine's fight, they both say they're finally using their full power as they continue the clash, though Gine reverts to her Super Saiyan form and doesn't even recognize it at first. So, they realize that she has somehow retained the God power, but they continue their battle nonetheless. As their fight drags on, Beerus eventually starts to get the upper hand as he pushes Gine down towards the earth. Though, she briefly gets a second wind and brings them back up into space. However, she falls back to her base form shortly after, and Beerus compliments her, saying she is the second strongest person she fought with the first being his martial arts master and attendant, Whis. However, as Gine starts to fall back to the earth, she doesn't want it all to end in vain and gets enough of a power boost to go Super Saiyan again. They eventually have a beam struggle, and even though she was able to nullify a Spear of Destruction again, this uses the last of her power as she falls to her base form once and for all. As she falls back down, Goku ends up catching her as she lands on the ship, though Beerus lands down behind them shortly after and still says he plans to destroy the Earth, which he then charges up a blast and destroys a small rock on a nearby island, saying that he was out of stamina, but did keep his promise of destroying the Earth. Whis offers Gine to become the next destroyer, but I'm not so sure she would take this offer. Regardless, Beerus eventually apologizes to Bulma for hitting her, so she then invites him to their next party, promising to have plenty of pudding there. Regardless, Beerus and Whis take off, and on the way back to his planet, Beerus reveals he lied about using 100% of his power so that Gine would draw out all of hers. Back on Earth, Gine and everyone sits down to have a meal after that fight had ended, though, even though Videl didn't have to announce it, she still sees this as a good time to formally announce that she is pregnant. As Vegeta vows to be the next Super Saiyan God, this might cause a little moment of bickering between the two, as Goku would want to be the next one. Though, Goku still mocks Vegeta's "that's my Bulma" moment, which is when they realize he was watching the whole thing, as he reveals he was trying to come up with a strategy, but he had nothing. Later, Hercule still has a press conference and tells his made-up story about defeating Beerus, though soon after, the Snackians arrive and explain they came to greet the person that defeated the God of Destruction. However, Galbi protests and tries to spar with Hercule, who then spots Goku and tries to get his help. He eventually must pretend to hit Goku since Chi-Chi was nearby, which leaves him to face Galbi, though he still spots B and the Snackians flee, as Hercule is then presented the hero's medal. Then, back at Goku's house, we see that Goku is too scared to go inside since Chi-Chi planned to punish him.